Welcome to the Online Astronomy Laboratory video series, Precession and the Ecliptic. In this video, we will discuss the ecliptic and how the precession of the Earth affects our view of the stars. According to ancient astrology, your life is determined by the position of the sun and planets at the time of your birth. The constellations that would house the sun throughout the year were given special powers. These constellations were dubbed the zodiac. Once you were born, the zodiac constellation which held the sun on that day would determine the course of your entire existence. Even today, people still attempt to determine their future based on the stars. As the Earth orbits the sun, the position of the sun changes against the background of stars. If the sun could be turned off, you would be able to see the position of the sun shift throughout the year. During a year, the sun moves on the celestial sphere along a path called the ecliptic. Precession refers to a change in direction of the axis of a rotating object. The most familiar example of precession can be observed in spinning tops. As a top begins to slow down, its axis begins to rotate in a circle. The same phenomenon is observed for the Earth. The Earth is not completely spherical. It has a slight bulge at the equator. Gravitation forces of the sun and moon on this bulge produce the precession. This precession causes the position of the north celestial pole among the stars to change. Also, the precession of the Earth is very slow. In fact, the Earth takes 26,000 years to complete one cycle of precession. Let's see how the precession of the Earth's axis affects our view of the stars. In particular, let's examine those constellations of the zodiac again. In the position shown here, the Earth is on the right side of the diagram, the Sun in the middle, and the constellation of Sagittarius on the far left side. These are not drawn to scale. In this diagram, if we look from the Earth toward the Sun, we would notice that the Sun would appear to us to be in the constellation of Sagittarius. During the year 1500 AD, the North Pole of the Earth would be pointed away from the Sun at this position in the orbit, and therefore we would call this date December 21st. Remember, we choose our dates based on our seasons and not on the position of the stars. Now let's fast forward time 13,000 years later to 14,500 AD. Notice now that the Sun would still appear to be in the constellation of Sagittarius. However, because the axis has precessed, the North now is pointed toward the Sun, and therefore we would call this day June 21st. So in the year 1500 AD, the Sun appeared in the constellation of Sagittarius on December 21st. But in 14,500 AD, the Sun will appear in the constellation of Sagittarius on June 21st. Therefore, we conclude that while the constellations in which the Sun will appear do not change, The dates in which they appear will change as the Earth axis precesses. This concludes the online astronomy laboratory video on Precession and the Ecliptic.